Good afternoon, friends. Today is March 24th, and it is about 3 p.m. Here's a wrap up before the close of the market. Let's take a look at the screens. We could see that the Russell is slightly up today. It's at 249 on the IWM, up about 0.7%. It's holding exactly at this level that we marked out earlier today. The diamonds, the Dow, also, it's basically flat today. It's holding the level. SPY, similar story. It's just slightly down, while the NASDAQ QQQs down 0.4%, 4.8%. It's sitting at 585 at the holding this level. The market doesn't seem like it has a direction of where it needs to go. It wants to go up, but there's no excuse. It wants to fall, but it's waiting for that excuse. So everything is kind of news driven at the moment. And I think we see that across the board. We can see copper basically is holding steady. Crypto is down a little bit. It was up at 70,000 this morning, which was pretty good. It fell back down to 69,000. Again, I think it's just playing a range, trying to figure out where to go. And you can see it's in this value area. It's not leaving. Now, if we look over at the metals, we don't see too much movement here. We see platinum's up about 1%, but that kind of goes along with the Dow because it's an industrial application, catalytic converters and such. The silver, it's about flat, and gold is down slightly, but again, you could see it's sitting directly in that value area and not going anywhere. Natural gas has been sitting here all day, just under $3, and I think that if something happens with the war, we'll see a spike in natural gas. Although summer's coming up, usually it's a lower price for natural gas, and natural gas goes down in the summer, so I'm not sure what's going to happen because we're already down pretty low. I don't know how much lower we're going to go in natural gas. Oil is back at $91.81. It's sitting right above this line, holding the 30 minutes. So that's where we are with that. And the VIX is fairly steady. It's up. It's at 2660 today. It really didn't change a whole lot. It's been in this area. And you could see the tick as well is flat. The market is just flat. It doesn't want to go anywhere. And I don't know what to tell you guys. So let's take a look over at the sectors. And you can see that we've had some recovery here in building XLV. I would expect to see this to continue as a trend. The communication sector is down, although AT&T is up, and I think Verizon's up as well. T-Mobile's up. So there are some sectors which are down in communications, like Google pulling communications down. Energy is up overall. It was over 61 earlier today, up over 2%. I don't know if this is going to continue. I'm a little bit hesitant. I would personally start to take some profit over here, and then you could always re-enter. The financials haven't really moved. They're flat. You can see they're sitting at 49.46. I do think there is a potential, though, for the financials to take off. So I'm not a buyer at this level. I would prefer to buy closer to the 48 level than at the 49 level. And I think you can see that if we look at some of the individual stocks, like Citi is up significantly today. It has a lot of room to continue going, and that's why I think we'll see on a longer trend the financials come back. Technology, in the next column, you can see as well, it's been following this downtrend. It's down a little. It's basically flat today. A lot will depend upon the outcome of the war and how quickly that happens, because oil prices will dictate what happens with technology investments. If there's not enough energy, then you can't make the chips, and if you can't make the chips, then there's no AI. Let's take a look at the XLP, and you can see that XLP, come in. Okay, so XLP, we could see it's here at 81.57. Again, it's just kind of like at the lower end of the value area, and there's a big gap up. So once there's some good news, I would expect it to gap up and close this gap. XLI industrials, you could see it's positive. It's holding this downward trend, but I do think that we have the opportunity to see continued strength in industrials. So I think that we're going to have building supplies and industrials part of the comeback after this war. Utilities, they're sitting here at 45. They're affected by the price of oil as well. It's hard for them to do well when oil is expensive. Healthcare is just down. That whole thing, the whole sector, just on this total downtrend tear. It's popped up a little bit over the 1 hour trend line, but this does not convince me that it's ready for a turnaround. It could be, but I would like to see more evidence of that. You could see that the waves on the short side are green, but the bigger waves are not there yet. And the same is on XLY. Right. And then real estate. I was hoping for real estate to come back a little bit. You could see it's flat. I do think that real estate will come back, but we don't have confirmation of that trend. And again, there's this big value area gap above here. This is not a bad place to enter if you're willing to take some risk. You could always have a stop loss just under $40.20 and buy in this area at like $40.50, looking for a $42 exit. Let's take a look. I'm pretty excited. I want to share with you a scanner that I built, and I have some entries here. I think this is pretty exciting, and I want you to tell me what you think. So let's just start over here. This scanner works by analyzing the trends, and I'm going to bring over. Here we are. So now here's the daily that we just pulled up on that scanner. And you can see on the long term, it's been holding this 50% line. The 38.2 is over here at $10.30. We're today trading at $10.45. This longer trend is up. You have higher lows, higher highs in this trend line. Now on the short trend, we've had this downtrend where we've met now the two, they've intersected, and it looks like we might be ready for a turnaround. So that's what I'm looking for. I think you can enter here in the $10.30 range to $10.40 range where we are, and I would hold and look for an exit at around $11.80 for your first target. So we're looking at something like that as where we would go with this. And I just picked up on that scanner. So now let's look at another entry here. I'm looking for entries on this thing. They could be oversold, for example. So let's see what this looks like. Gold makes sense. This company's oversold. We had the pullback in gold. It looks like any motion forward on gold will bring this up. And at $3, it's very affordable no matter what size account you have. And you can see materials really dominate this list today. We have some healthcare. So we have LFST, for example. And this scanner is set up to find assets under $20. So these are low risk, low cost investment, maybe high risk. I don't know. I shouldn't say low risk. It's always risky, right? Because $4 to $7, it's, that's a big move. But we're gonna have tight stop losses. The idea here is that all of these are basically in their sector rotation model. This is another one that's a little bit different sector rotation, but you could see again, we've been holding generally this 19-cent range, and it's right about there, and it can go up here. I don't like it when these are too cheap. This is a little too low for me. But you can see some other ones. Look at this one. What do we have? NWL. It actually pays a 7% dividend. It's 6% just about range this year. It has a good potential for some upside though. 14%. I don't know why it had this significant pullback, but last time it had earnings, it looks like it beat earnings. It beat earnings the last couple times. So we have earnings eventually, but it looks like we're at the bottom of this value area at $3.40. This might not be a bad area to enter, 347, let's say. And you can look for targets well above there, right? So we can take a look at some more. I like it when you see a lot of green, So there's green across this board here. 5% looks like upside, a little bit of downside possibility. So has a 2% dividend. It's at 74% of the range this year. That sounds pretty interesting. Look at that. It's had a really nice run up. It's Banco Santander. And the financials we looked at earlier have had some issues at 1076. That's a bottom right there, where you have at 11, like just this big magnet. That's their value area. But once things turn around, you can see easily a 20% rise out of there. Plus you get the dividend. That's pretty nice. Let's take a look at another one. I like these ones that are in that 60, that 70% range. It actually kind of gives you the feeling like maybe they have a trend. Let's take a look at this one, Aris. Again, look at that. It's been holding this level. I'm looking for 15 at the entry, and then you'd want to, hold it up through to here if you could, to 21. Get a nice like $5 move there. Look, you can see here on channel 2, there's at least 30% possibility of going up on ARIS mining gold. Right. So what else do we have? Let's take a look at one more, and I'll keep this video a little bit shorter. And then we can look at GGN. It's $5. Again, of course, it's gold. So, this is all going to happen with whatever gold does. If gold continues to go back up, which I think it will, this is another opportunity for you to ride gold. The more active ones you might do better with if you want to sell options against the position. You could sell, options and AGNC. Now this is it's a real estate dividend stock. It's under $10 at the moment. It does have 5% upside, I see. Pays 13% dividend. Look at this. And it's paying a dividend out, it looks like monthly. So we have a dividend distribution coming up. You have to have the stock by the 31st. So now is a good time to get in. If you're looking for that, if you believe that this trend will hold, and for the longer year trend, it will continue and hold this $9.85 level, it looks pretty good. If not, I am concerned about the value area. So here you have a big gap. So it could work its way through that gap pretty quickly if the war ends, or it could find its way to the bottom here of this value area at $9.22. That would be a concern. So it could fall down one more level, and you want to just see it hold here. Maybe even if it bounces over 10, that might be the indication to get in. So don't be too eager to get in. I'm normally too eager to get in. So maybe you wait for this little correction to happen on the hourly even. So here we are on the hourly. It's it is tempting. It is tempting to try it. You know, you could hold for 985. If it breaks below, then you cut your losses, or you add to the position and see if you can ride it back up. Because long term, I think this will do well. It will come back, and it is paying a dividend. So that is pretty nice. All right, that's about 15 minutes of your time. Thank you very much for sharing it with me. If you have anything else that you'd like me to look at, I'm happy to do that. Let's take a look at some winners today. AAOI, actually, before I close out, AAOI, FN, GLW, Light, COHR. So a lot of these are photo optics for the processors and moving information fast. And that's what's doing well today. Mosaic is doing well. Taiwan Semi. You could see Bloom Energy is doing well. Marvel is doing well. Very interesting. But as opposed to Lilly, which is just languishing down there, and Broadcom. I don't understand what's going on with Broadcom or Meta. Why aren't they taking off? They really should. Micron is pulling back. I understand it's been doing pretty well, but still, come on. We need some more positive movement, people. Planet Labs has been interesting, and that's been on my radar as well as Now. But ServiceNow, I don't understand why they're going down. They're at 5% of their of their annual range. It's not like they're going away. It's really crazy. But yeah, it's got a scary momentum number. I don't know what to say. I would do it. I would like it. You know, I would use their services, but it's just not doing well. I do believe Jets should do well. I think Jets should turn around. That's all the airlines. Once the war is over, oil prices come down a little bit, it'll turn around. Intel got beat up a little bit, came down. I think it's still got room to go back up. Northrop Grumman, Capital One Finance, ONDS. ONDS is interesting. It's been running. I'm not sure how much more it has on the chart handy to go. It's up 70% across the year, but it is below the 5,200, and it's slowed down, I think, on its acceleration. But these are like, Nike looks interesting. It's up 2% today. Still has looks like at least a 7% upside. It's also really low on the year, only 5%. Better momentum too. Delta Airlines, same story as Jets. All right. Well, okay. Now I'll cut it. All right. Thanks and have a great day.